Well, it is almost too late in the year, but I think I still got time to get my garlic planted and get it going, but I gotta do a couple things. You can see these are my garden boxes that I grow my garlic in, and they have just been overrun with Bermuda grass. I've got, what do you call that? A liner underneath them, a ground cover, there we go, underneath them to try to prevent that. But I think the problem is they're too short, so the Bermuda grass went over the liner and over the top of this and just invaded these boxes. So there's no way to get this stuff out of here. I mean, I could pull it out, but it's in there. So it's gonna, there's just no way I'm gonna get all that out of there and salvage that dirt. So these are done. I'm gonna have to empty them out, rebuild them, refill them, I should say. They're pretty easy to fill. And then I'm gonna move them actually. I'm gonna get them out from my yard here. It's really been kind of a pain right here with trying to weed eat and mow around them. So I'm gonna move them inside the fenced in garden area back here behind me, back in the corner. I think they're gonna do just fine back there. I don't have any problems with Bermuda grass getting into there. So I think that's gonna be a good job. So this should be pretty easy. I should be able to just pick these up. Yep, I think I can. And then I'll just come back and spread the dirt out and thin it out. No, get out of here, Max. Out. Out, good. I say pretty easy, famous last words, right? But, there we go. There we go. And then move them over, move all the dirt that's underneath, spread it all out, and we should be good to go. There's a mushroom growing on there. I gotta make sure I pick all the grass off here so I don't carry any of that in there with me. Oh, that one was way easier. Well, you gotta stay back from that stuff, bud. So again, try to get all this grass out so I don't leave any of it behind. Otherwise, I'll end up having more problems with it, which I probably will eventually anyway. It's just the nature of it. All right, so I think this back corner here is going to be a fine place to put these. So I should be able to nestle them in there. Pull my ground cover up. See how I want them. I gotta figure this out. A little bit of leaves and things down on the bottom is not gonna hurt anything. There we go. A little uneven, but I got one. I gotta figure out, do I want to put the other one this way or that way? I'm not sure yet. Let me go get it. We'll figure it out. I think maybe I'll just run them side by side. I think that'll work. I think I'll just do them there. Looks pretty good. I just need to go get some compost, run to the compost facility, get some compost, bring it back, fill these boxes up. Now I'm planting garlic, so really about that deep is going to be just fine. So it's not too much compost. I'm not going to bother taking you guys to the compost facility with me. I'm just going to go get it. I'll bring it back, then we'll get back on camera together. Well, that wasn't too bad. Compost facility was pretty, I mean, there wasn't anybody else there, just me, but that's how it usually is whenever I go and get compost. But had a nice big pile of compost there, so it was real easy just to back right up to it and get a whole load of compost. And I should have plenty here, I'm not sure yet. Always a problem with city compost. You gotta pull some trash out of it every once in a while. I don't know what that is, but we'll stick it right here and hopefully we'll not forget to throw it in the trash here in a minute. And I'm not worried about dead leaves or sticks in the bottom of this. That's all gonna break down. That'll be just fine. It actually helps fill it up a little bit so I don't need quite as much compost. I think I got plenty though. Don't need a whole lot. And it doesn't have to be too terribly deep for garlic. Another little piece of trash. All right. This isn't terribly exciting, just emptying compost into a couple of garden beds. So I don't know that you need to watch all of it, but that looks like a coin. No, it's not. I hope I got enough compost anyway. I probably do, but I may have cut myself short, I don't know. We're gonna find out here in just a minute. All right, go get another load. In fact, I'll probably just go ahead and load these beds because again, you don't need to watch me do that. And then I'll be back with you in a minute. All right, well, you can see I got these beds filled enough anyway. I mean, they don't need to be completely full. I'm just growing garlic in here. It doesn't need, but just, you know, a couple inches of soil really, about 5 or 6 inches at the most. So what I'm gonna be growing here is a Dugonski garlic. I've actually never heard of it before, but one of my viewers on my weekly live broadcast 2 weeks ago, because I didn't get it done in last week, suggested Territorial Seed Company because they had garlic still for sale. So I checked them out and sure enough they did. I'm a little bit late getting to this. Normally I like to have my garlic planted, you know, around late September, early October, and now today is October 31st. So we're gonna see how well this stuff does because honestly, and you know, we got a frost coming next week. Garlic's pretty hardy, and you plant it in the fall. In most places, you plant it in the fall. And as long as you can get it up about that high before the hard freeze comes, it's usually just fine. You're just looking at getting a root base going, and then in the spring, it'll come back just fine. So, you know, to plant garlic, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I just got to break these cloves off of the bulb. There we go. So each one of these cloves is going to grow a new garlic plant. You want to plant them about 4 to 6 inches apart, somewhere right around in there. Got a rock. Get that rock out of there. And it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm just going to push it into the ground, cover it up with a little bit of soil, just a couple inches. And it needs, you're going to plant it this way in the ground, if that makes sense. So there's the end of the garlic. This is the stem end of the garlic. You want the stem end facing up. So let's see, we'll go right there. We'll probably get 3 or 4. Let's go with 4 across. I think I'll move this one over just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put a whole bunch in the ground before I go covering all those up. You know what? I need to move those a little ways inward. Where's that other garlic clove I planted first? There it is. Let's start that over. I'm going to move them in just a little bit and give them plenty of room on the edge here. So there's 1 row of garlic planted. And I think that'll be fine. And now let's see if we can get the other row. I don't know if I have enough to fill up both of these garden beds or not. We're going to find out. Try to break these off here without tearing them up. There we go. All right. It's looking like we might have enough to fill them both up. I'm only going to get 1 or 2 more rows, and I've still got quite a bit of garlic left, so I may have to come in and plant them a little bit denser than this. We'll see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have plenty of garlic. I do need to go a little bit denser, so I'm gonna go back and redo some of this and shorten the spacing out just a little bit. I planted them a little bit far apart, but I've got plenty of garlic. I got a whole nother bag to go through, and I need to make sure. Let's do this then. Let's get them just a little bit closer together. There we go. That's still a good 4 inches, so that'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll work just perfect. That one needs to come over just a little. You can tell I use a very precise measuring method to plant garlic. Let's move that one over just a little bit. There we go. And there we go. Okay, those can go up here, up here, up here, and up here. And then, is that all I got planted? There's another one. How about right there? It's just kind of trial and error, honestly. You can crowd garlic a little bit too. It's not too picky, but you're going to more likely get pretty decent cloves, bigger bulbs, if you don't overcrowd it. But these are still, you know, I'd say 4, maybe even 5 inches apart. I mean, there's still plenty enough room. You usually want to go about 4 to 6 inches. That looks a little close. Move that over a little bit. There we go. Some little bulbs. It's the same process in both beds. I don't know that you really need to watch me plant a whole bunch more garlic. I do know I can get it closer together than what I did in the first one because I got more than I needed. So maybe I'll just get this done and come back when it's all done and show you the end result here. All right, so now got all the garlic planted. You probably can't see what I'm doing here, but now I'm just going to go back and cover it up and just basically just push it down in there a little bit, cover it up. It just needs to be covered up with about 1 inch or 2 of soil at the most. Don't want to plant it too terribly deep. You may have a hard time germinating and sprouting. So I'm just pushing it down in there a little bit, covering it up. And I got 2 whole garden boxes planted of garlic. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, Max, hush. All right, one more bed to get covered up. And again, you don't need to watch me do all that. It's the same process. Max, hush. Hush, hush. Quit. Ah, I don't know what he's barking at. All right, so this one's done. Garlic's all planted. I got one more bed to get covered up. You don't need to watch me do all that. But let me talk to you a little bit while I'm working. And, sorry, I got to move over here, old knees. Hard to crawl around on the ground. You know, I do like planting garlic in garden boxes like this. I think it works better. Garlic does really well in loose, rich soil, well-draining soil. So, you know, you can plant it right in the ground. It's fine. I've done it plenty of times and it works okay. But it's a little bit easier to harvest in when I plant it in a box like this with compost. It's real loose and easy to dig in. Of course, this will compact down a little bit by the time it comes time to harvest this stuff, but it won't be that bad. It won't be like digging in the yard or digging in the garden in the ground. Other than that, garlic's pretty easy to grow. The only thing I'm looking to do is to get this stuff to sprout up, like I said, about that tall before the hard freezes hit in the wintertime. So if I need to, if it looks like it's not going to make it, then I'll come back and cover it up with some thick plastic, little greenhouse type. You know, I got some PVC hoops that I can put on in these boxes and drape some plastic over it and make a greenhouse for them, basically. But just to get them up and going. As long as they're up and going, which will be, about 2 weeks probably, then it'll be fine. They'll handle the hard freeze, no problem, and come right back in the spring. They'll be one of the first things to sprout out in the spring. And it's going to be, next fall, late summer before I get to harvest this stuff, because garlic just takes a long time to grow. It'll come up in the spring, and what we'll be waiting for is for the tops of the garlic, the green parts, to start dying off. When you got about a third of them brown and dead, then it's time to harvest your garlic. And that's probably going to be around, late June. Well, probably later than that. Probably more around August. Actually, sorry, can't work and talk at the same time apparently. Probably somewhere around August, mid to late August, it'll be about time to harvest all this stuff. And this should be enough. What I'll do is I'll harvest it, and I'll keep out about 6 or 8 heads of garlic to replant again next, late September, early October, and the rest of it we'll be able to use. So you can just keep growing the same garlic over and over again. Now, I did go with some new garlic this year because the garlic I've been growing for years is just not as strong. Can't get it over the fence. It's not as strong as I like it. I like a pretty strong garlic, and I was just disappointed with it. I've been growing it for several years, just thinking I need to get new garlic, I need to get a new strain, and finally I did. I have never tried this kind of garlic before, but it gets great reviews. So we're going to see how well it turns out. But that's pretty much all there is to planting garlic. Like I said, I would have liked to have got it done a couple of weeks earlier. I just slacked off. I was a little bit lazy, I guess, and had too many things going on and didn't get it done. But I think I still got plenty of time. We do have a frost coming next week, but a frost won't hurt these things. It's a hard freeze that I really want to watch out for. But I think we got at least a couple of weeks before a hard freeze comes, so I think we'll be okay. So anyway, I guess that's it for this video. We'll see if this works, if I waited too long or not. I think we'll be okay, but you never know. Thanks for watching, and as always, God bless.